Hi, this is A. Wesley. That ain't who tells it like a TI is. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Topic I'm going to talk to you today about is the Wendy Williams documentary, Where is Wendy Williams? I finally got a chance to watch it. I watched it twice. It started off with them going back to the 2017 uh, day when Wendy Williams fainted on set, and uh, and they had people talking about it, and they even had DJ Booth saying something. He was saying that at first he thought Wendy maybe was kind of acting or putting on a plan, but he said he realized it was more serious when Wendy didn't wake up, and they had to call the ambulance, to get Wendy, and then after that, they showed flashback scenes of Wendy Williams going on a hiatus and taking a vacation, uh, and then they showed video footage of when she was in Florida with her son and her father and her brother and her mother. And that was the first time she was in Florida, and then she came back. They showed her when she came back to the show, and then they showed her when she left the show again, and then they showed her when she came back and said that she had been in the sober house, and that was in 2019. And then after that, uh, they they showed Wendy walking on the beach with her son, and then they showed Wendy going back and forth to different clubs, and they also showed Wendy when she was trying to do the show from home when COVID first was out, and everybody had to be locked in for a while. And that's when I first noticed that something else was going on with Wendy Williams, because it was one I think it was a white talk show host or reporter or something, and he liked the Wendy Williams show, and then when he saw her do her lives at home in a remote, he was saying he didn't like the fact that she was eating while she was on camera, and stuff like that. And I said that did look kind of strange, kind of funny, but everybody kind of drinks a little water, or maybe have a little snack or something to eat, but I think it was the way the area was. It was kind of messy. But anyway, I just said, maybe that's her. But then they showed a little clip of DJ Booth where he said that he noticed something else was going on with Wendy too, but he couldn't do it. But he couldn't figure out what it was. And then he said when he would mention it to people would look at him strange and funny. And he was saying people didn't know while she was doing that remote stuff from her home, he had to be the cameraman, the director, and everybody, because she didn't want to be in that big townhouse by herself. And he said he was like everybody else at first. He just thought Wendy was going through stuff with the lipedema and with the thyroid problem. But he said after a while, stuff started getting where it was getting too weird, and he thought something else was going on. And like I said in previous videos, that I knew something was going on when she did that interview with Fat Joe. I noticed something, and then I also kind of noticed something when she was supposed to be at some award show with Jason Lee, and people were asking her questions. They said she wasn't the same Wendy that she was at first, and I was saying what. And then after that, she did that interview with T.J. Holmes at the beginning of 2022, and I was saying, nah, something else going on with Wendy. Something. And so I did like the documentary and stuff like that, because even Wendy's niece, that was her favorite niece, she was concerned about Wendy, and she told Wendy and what was all those people doing around her and stuff like that, and she was trying to be a friend to Wendy and stuff like that. But it was like every time you mentioned something about Wendy stopped drinking, it was like Wendy got mad at people and she fired people. She fired her driver 2 or 3 times. And he did a little interview and he said that he just couldn't keep on doing that because he said at one point Wendy got to acting so weird and she fired him again. He said after the third time she fired him, he never would come back no more. Because he said dealing with that would be a 24-hour day job and they would have to pay him much more than what they was paying him. And then the family said that they didn't like the fact that the bank got a conservator and a guardian without letting them know anything. They say one thing they knew. Wendy was having a court date. The next thing they know, Wendy had a guardian and stuff like that. And so the guardian at one point was trying to sue to get the documentary not put on TV. And they put the documentary on TV, and I was glad they did because I mean it took me a while to watch it because I didn't want it to trigger me because I kind of went through something similar to that with my mom during the 2010s and stuff like that. And when people were getting so hard on Wendy Williams' son, Kevin Hunter Jr., talking about he wasn't doing anything, he was a 22-year-old. He said he was the guardian at first. He said, but then they took the guardianship away from him. And I kind of understood because, like I said, I've been in a similar situation. And even though, in our eyes, 22, 23, people are supposed to be adult, when it comes down to being like a legal guardian or a conservatorship or something like that, they want somebody a little bit more mature and stuff like that. And so because like I said, I had a similar situation where, you know, when my mom would get sick, she would say, well, you know, I got my daughter Angela and my grandkids and stuff like that. And so the people were, you know, people be thinking when you say your daughter, your grandkids and stuff, they be thinking the kids are older, but when they find out they in their teens, 19, 20, 21, oh no, they can't be responsible. And that's not always possible, but that was very hard on Wendy Williams' son, and he was trying to do the best he could with what he had. But it was just the fact that those people just let Wendy go by the wayside. And like he said, even the producer says that they had to stop filming sometime because Wendy was acting such a way and they didn't know what was going on. And like the guy, like Wendy Williams' son said, they didn't know nothing was going on as far as having dementia due to alcohol. They just found that out maybe about a month or two before the documentary was supposed to air. And so that's why that and when they said they tried to talk to Wells Fargo to find out what was going on with Wendy and this conservatorship and stuff, and they said that Wells Fargo said that the stuff had been settled and all the stuff had been sealed. But then about 2 weeks later, people were wondering. They were saying, well, who's going to get the money from Lifetime? And they were saying they don't know. And they had Shelby in there, and you could tell that that was kind of getting to Shelby too. But he was looking more at money than looking at Wendy's help, trying to get Wendy a podcast. Everybody in their mouth knew that Wendy was not going to be able to do no podcast and stuff like that. I said, especially after some of those interviews. But I think when people started seeing the way, you know, the way she was, the way that Shelby man was trying to put her out here, talking about what you call not documentary, podcast. Wendy was not physically able enough to do a podcast, but the documentary did bring out, you know, Wendy's struggles through life and stuff like that. So like I said, it was a good documentary. And then after that, at the end, Wendy Williams' sister said that she hated that she failed her sister and stuff like that, because she was saying that they wanted her to take over at first, and she said she didn't mind because the way it was presented to her, all she had to do was go check on Wendy, take Wendy to her doctor's appointments. That's the bad thing about caregiving, because when these hospitals and these organizations want family members and relatives to take care of stuff, they really don't give the full story about, no, you're not just going to be going and taking her to a doctor and all kinds of stuff. You're going to be responsible for everything. And so, including her financial stuff and making sure she's, settled right in a good place and stuff like that. Because like I said earlier in the video, I went through something like that. I'm not going to go into great detail. But anyway, I kind of understood the family side. And it was like you have to be on one accord. If you're not on one accord, if you're not on one accord, then the state is going to take over. And when the state takes over, that means the family can't really have too much to do with it. So that's why I try to get the family involved in the first place to see if they want to do it. But I think that's the only regret that Wendy's sister had. And then after that, Wendy's husband, Calvin Hunter Jr., some people call him Kelvin, some people call him Calvin, I don't know what his name is, but I'm just going to say Kelvin. He said that, those people tricked Wendy's sister Wanda just by telling her all she had to do was go visit Wendy, take her to a doctor. People sign off on stuff when it wasn't that. I'm gonna put that little what he said in the video, and also they said they're gonna try in the documentary. Wendy's sister and her son and the rest of the family said they're gonna try to see if they can fight that conservatorship. And they said it's supposed to be over. I think it's supposed to be over for renewal in July, something like that. And then I think it was later on this week or last week, they said Lifetime came out and said exactly what they paid Wendy Williams. They paid Wendy $400,000 for the documentary, and then they gave her some kind of a stipend for every day she filmed. And so people were wondering where that money went from, and like the producer said that they got permission from Shelby and the conservative, but then the conservative gonna try to come out and say later on that she didn't give her consent, and they said yes she did. They signed the papers there with the lawyers and everything. They wanted to make sure everything was gonna go well. And like I said, this is my brief summary of it, and I hope Wendy Williams gets better. But I've dealt with people with dementia. And my mom had it, like I said, my mom had it through a stroke and stuff like that. So it's like you have your empathy, your sympathy for Wendy Williams. You wouldn't wish this on anybody. Now some people are saying it's a karma. I don't believe that. I wouldn't wish nothing bad on anybody. No sickness, no illness, or nothing. No matter if they were a good person or not. Nobody wants to go through that family member with this type of illness and disease. But I hope good things happen for Wendy Williams. I hope she's in a better place, in a nicer facility and stuff like that. That's all I have for this video. This is A. Wesley. That ain't even tested like a TI is. I am out.